Hello, and welcome to the Trophy Trust, a weekly podcast for PlayStation trophy hunters. I'm one of your hosts, the Dazil. Joining me this evening, we have Void,
Hey guys.
also have Claire,
Hey everyone.
and also we have Punish.
Hey guys.
Okay, so this week we're doing something slightly different. This is going to be a Paris Games Week special episode. We're going to be discussing all the announcements that were shown at the Sony PlayStation press conference at Paris Games Week. This was about 3 days ago as of recording of this podcast. It was on Monday, the 30th of October. So what we're going to do is we're going to go along in order of the announcements that were made at that press conference, and we're going to give our first impressions and what we feel towards the announcements shown. So we're just going to kick off and just go straight into it. Okay, so the first game that was announced during this streamed event was Guacamelee 2. Personally, I've played Guacamelee. Has anyone else here played the game?
Yeah, Platinum.
You
Did all the DLC.
Oh, tough game. I'm not really that. I did put a few hours into it. I got really far into it. It wasn't really for me. I played it on PS Vita.
Okay, they have two different. There is two different. I played the one on PS4. That is the Super Turbo Championship Edition. So it's a bit different, but
it was one of the sort of not first Vita games, but one of the very early Vita games that I got, because I remember playing it. I put it on my Vita and I was playing it at work during a lunch break, and I was trying to get into it, but I'm really not into the Metroidvania style.
Oh, you see, I really enjoyed it because I love Metroidvania games a lot. Been playing. I've been actually trying to play more and more of those. So it's one of the rare games that I'm looking forward.
Okay.
Game Week actually, it's Guacamelee 2. At some point, I will probably play it.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not a big fan of the style of games either. So I played it, but I didn't platinum it or anything like that. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I even finished it. Not really.
There's a lot of humor and Easter eggs. Enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it seemed very charming.
Did you play Guacamelee at all?
No, I never played the first one, but I'm definitely interested in the second one. From what I saw at the conference, it looks like a pretty good fun game to play.
They've definitely focused more on multiplayer, it seems, this time around. I mean, I know the first game did have it as well, but it seems that there was, in the trailer at least, there's 4 people playing the game simultaneously. So I guess they're building the levels more to suit multiplayer, it seems. There's a lot of action going on. Personally, not really for me. Didn't really enjoy the first one. I did try to go for platinum for it, but that game was kicking my ass. And like I said, I'm not really into Metroidvania style games, and beat 'em up's really not sort of for me either. So it looks good. It looks great. It looks fantastic, but it's a pass from me. And anyone else? So actually, what I'll tell you what first. What we'll do is we'll talk about each trailer as we go along, and at the end we'll just say whether we're interested or it's a pass from us. So going on the first one, Guacamelee 2, it's a pass from me.
Probably gets a pass from you.
And Claire, it was a pass from you?
Yeah.
I will platinum the game for sure when it will be on sale after a couple of months of release, for sure. Yeah, I mean, besides if they have something crazy trophy, but...
No, we have recorded evidence of you seeing it now, so we'll hold you to that.
and Punish, you said you're interested in it, so it's got your attention.
Yeah, it definitely has my attention. I like the puzzle aspect, and I'll definitely give it a try when it comes out.
Okay, cool. All right, then we're moving on to the next game. We're going to just keep this going as quickly as possible because we've got a lot to get through. Second announcement was Loco Roco 2 Remastered. I played the remastered first game for PS4 a few months ago. I got into it thinking, this is going to be a pretty straightforward platinum, and it really isn't. The game is a lot tougher than it makes out to be. It is a very fun, cute game. I played it back on PSP back in the day when it was on that platform when it first came out. Without trophies, it's a fun game. It is pretty casual, but the trophy list is pretty tough. It's definitely one of the rarer.
I didn't expect that. What type of trophy do they ask?
Oh, what kind of trophy? It's like finding all the. Forgive me, I can't remember all the sort of names.
Collectibles.
Yeah, that you've got collectibles. You have to collect all the little Loco Roco, like the little small ones in a level to make the big one. You've got to basically go through without being injured, so you can finish the level with all the collectibles, all the little Loco Roco blobs, and all the little creatures that you discover in hidden areas, find all the hidden secrets. It's definitely not something I have the patience for because it requires basically perfect playthroughs of each level. And yeah, that's not for me. So the second one, unless it's got some really easy platinum trophy, I'm probably not even going to touch it, to be honest.
I've never played the game before. I don't know if I like the look of it, so it's gonna give a pass for me.
Okay. Anyone else interested in it?
Nah, I will be passing too. I never. Doesn't seem interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely be passing on it too. It doesn't seem that all interesting to me.
Okay. It's just a remaster after all. It's not a brand new game or anything, so it's definitely one of the lower announcements on this list. Okay, moving on to the next one. The Gardens Between. This looks like a really nice kind of sort of not really 2.5D, but it's 3D, but it looks like it's a puzzle game, kind of light platforming. It has a time manipulation element where you can rewind time. It's got a really nice style to it. It's kind of a little bizarre. It kind of reminds me of
Rhyme.
I don't know. Sorry,
Rhyme.
Yeah, kind of like Rhyme, but it also has this kind of like Oxenfree kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, Oxenfree. That's the game I had in my head. It looks similar. Maybe the graphic a bit different, but it could be from the same dev. And I will. If you tell me it's the same dev, I will trust it. Really, even the way that it's happening, like they're both on an island and you start on the beach. Exploration,
you
everything.
play as I assume you play as two people. One of them's AI or it's multiplayer. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked up the details of it, but it looks really nice. Like a really nice.
And you're playing in time too, like.
Yeah, exactly. Playing with time. That's also another Oxenfree kind of like link there as well. Definitely interested. I really like these kind of small puzzle type indie games.
They're perfect on a Saturday morning when you just want to relax and have a easy platinum.
Yeah,
they feel good.
Has anyone else seen the trailer or have any input towards it?
I think I am going to be interested in it, but like one of those things where, you see it on sale and you pick it up. I wouldn't be rushing out to buy it day one, but I think it would interest me because that kind of Rhyme exploration kind of style of game really interests me. So
it looks like the levels are kind of the level kind of reminded me a little bit of the name has literally just slipped out of my mind. It was that shoot 'em up game that first came out on PS4. I can't. You play as a spaceship and you rescue little green men. Everything's all pixelated and blocky.
Resogun?
Resogun, yeah, that's it. I completely slipped my mind. No, just the way the camera pans around the islands, where the islands look like it's kind of like cylindrical, so like the camera will pan around the island as you.
Or like Crash, the map of Crash.
Yeah,
around the island.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Similar kind of thing. Yeah, definitely interested. We'll see the price point and see more gameplay, and of course see what the trophies are like as well. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I imagine it'll be pretty simple trophy list. I think.
Yeah, with a guide of hours.
Okay.
So if they ask you to do like 12 endings.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, next game is our first PSVR game on the list. This is Bow to Blood. It is basically it's like space pirates. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Ratchet and Clank, the style, but it's like big floating pirate ships, kind of futuristic, and it's like sea battles basically, but in the air, in a futuristic kind of Ratchet and Clank sort of visual style.
Yeah.
Multiplayer PSVR. So you're on the deck of your battle ship, of your kind of like futuristic pirate ship. You're at the helm of it. You've got all the controls. It looks like it uses PlayStation Move controllers. So you use the controllers to press the buttons all on the.
I didn't know it was multiplayer, but it's a bit risky having a PlayStation VR game multiplayer. I feel like it'll probably die quite fast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's multiplayer because the way it's set out.
Yeah, it looked like, but I didn't.
There are a few PlayStation VR multiplayer games, but it is where you've got the smaller install base. I guess it would be harder to find like games as easily. Like, I mean, further down the line, you can imagine the community on games dying a lot quicker than a base sort of PS4 game, because you've got there's that game where I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's a PSVR game, came out around launch. Multiplayer game where you all sit around a campfire and you have to guess who the werewolf is.
Yeah, some call werewolves something.
Like Salem?
Werewolves or something. Werewolves.
I keep thinking of Wolf Among Us, but obviously that's not that's actually how you would describe the game, as there's a wolf among us, but it's not literally Wolf Among Us. It's like a werewolf within, I think, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's like it's kind of like Guess Who mixed with like Cluedo. I guess you have to, someone knows who the wolf is, but you have to like you actually talk to people, multiplayer, and you have to like lean in close and like try and it's a group effort to try and figure out who the werewolf is in the group of humans.
Yeah, that's crossplay between like all the different HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift and stuff like that, and PC VR players.
Yeah. But anyway, Bow to Blood, not really my kind of game, and the fact that it's assuming it is multiplayer kind of puts me off as well. But even if it wasn't, it doesn't really seem like my thing. Anyway, out of us here, I think I have PSVR. Claire, I know you've got it. Void, I know you don't have it. And Punish, do you have PSVR?
No, I don't. I haven't picked one up yet, but I'm looking to get one for Christmas.
Okay, well, and this game hasn't initially grabbed me, so it's a pass from me. Claire?
Yeah, it's another pass for me as well. Not too many of the VR stuff got me excited. So.
Okay, all right then. Well, let's move on to the next one. The Sims 4 for PS4 or for consoles, just in general. They said that it's the PC version, the full PC version, basically, the sort of add-on expansion packs, but it's just been redesigned, like the UI has been basically redesigned so it's more comfortable to use with a controller. Personally, not a really big fan of The Sims. Played the first game on PC during my childhood, but not since, really. And definitely, I haven't played any of the console versions. Not really for me. Not really my kind of game. Like the kind of endless sort of building simulator kind of game is not really for me. I don't play anything like Minecraft where you're constantly building stuff and like.
I'll probably play it. It's been a long time I didn't play The Sims, and I think I will enjoy it. It'll be funny to have a little Sims Platinum.
Yeah, I could play it maybe because I played maybe someone's PlayStation 2 and I kind of liked them. I always thought they were fucking hard though, because like my guy would like fucking burn himself to death or die of electrocution in the shower or something like that. You know what I mean? I always found out they were really, really tough, but kind of funny as well. So
to be honest, I think having quite an in-depth trophy list that's going to require you to spend a good amount of time on that game, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I never played the other Sims Platinum games on PlayStation. I didn't play them.
Me neither, but I think I could probably play it, yeah. So maybe I might be interested in this one, yeah.
Oh, The Sims 3 on PlayStation 3 is an ultra rare trophy.
Okay.
I wonder what it's like. My girlfriend's interested in it because she's a fan of The Sims, and so I'll definitely have a experience of it. Sort of.
It's more. It's not really like a builder. I don't think. It's more like management of people, the same way Team Hospital is. You know. That's kind of management. Like it's a living simulator essentially. Like I really like it though because you can have some like get into fun situations and stuff like that. But I found it really, really hard. So I don't know. It would be the type of thing where I'd let the game come out for a few weeks or a few months. I'd wait till it's on sale, and I'd probably even
micromanagement is definitely not something I enjoy. It's like micromanagement. The only example I can really give of a game where I've had to sort of do it was like Metal Gear Solid 5. We have to micromanage Mother Base, and didn't really enjoy it. I know it's nothing like The Sims. It's like a lot simpler than The Sims.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone.
It's just not for me. That's why I didn't like Peace Walker on the PSP. I really didn't like the micromanagement aspect of it. It kind of caught me.
Yeah, I love this aspect. It's bro. I love it a lot. So it's, I guess,
I'll be interested in it.
It's interesting.
Okay. All right then. Well, moving on to the next game announcement. This one I really have like literally no input or no interest, but it's on the list. Tennis World Tour.
I had something I was going to say about that. Pass.
Yeah,
pass here too.
It's a tennis game. Just that's it. I mean, I don't mean to try and sell the game short, but I have no interest.
I'm sure those
in
20 to
sport
25 extreme tennis fans who've been looking forward to this for years will be delighted, but I'm not one of them. I don't think I know or will ever encounter anyone who will be, so probably pass.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a pass. Okay, moving on. Another PSVR game, but really don't have much to say on this because they only showed basically a CG trailer that doesn't really even give us a kind of vibe of the gameplay, really. It's called Star Child, PlayStation VR game, as I said. Can't really say anything about it. The CG trailer looks good. It kind of has this sort of like Overwatch kind of CG trailer kind of vibe to it.
It's look a little bit like Infamous First Light.
Yeah, it's got that kind of neon dash effect to it. It looks like, basically what I get from the trailer is it looks like you can come out from your body and like perhaps possess like things like devices or whatnot. It's really hard to kind of take from that trailer because it's a CGI announcement trailer.
I have difficulty with this, like all those little trailers that's like 1 minute. It's like super fast that I feel there are like nothing inside them. Like they show almost
it's
nothing
just
compared to
announcement, just to announce the game exists. That's it basically.
Exactly.
There's a couple of games that they bring at like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's a bit more interesting.
Okay. Well, like I said, nothing really more we can say on that, really. Watch the trailer for yourself. It's on the PlayStation's YouTube channel, and see what you think, because I really can't describe anything else from it. So we can't really say pass or miss or yes, because we really don't know yet. It's too early to say. Okay, next game, another PSVR game, is called Dead Hungry. This game looks really interesting. It's kind of like a zombie horde survival type game, but it's very cartoony. And what I can make out from the trailer is you're in like a fast food kind of like booth, like one of those ones that you get like at a fairground or a theme park, where it's like a kiosk, not like a restaurant, and you have like the grills and stuff in front of it, and it looks like you have to assemble burgers and fast foods to throw at the zombies to defeat the zombies with. So it really reminds me of like Job Simulator in that respect. And it's like a zombie horde mode, and you throw burgers at them. What more can I say? It actually looks really goofy and really fun, and it's got like a really wacky kind of cartoony style to it. I'll definitely give it a go if the price is right on PSVR. I'm very happy with it.
I hope the price will not be too much. If I had a PSVR, I will give it a go. It seems they're funny, those little restaurant management, and they're usually kind of good games just to relax. It really looks similar to Taco Master on PS Vita if you played it.
Sure.
And
I mean, I'm just to step aside for one moment. I'm actually really quite pleased with the amount of PSVR announcements they've put out with Paris Games Week announcements. There's with PSVR reaching its 1 year anniversary since launch a couple of weeks ago. People have been starting to question like the commitment that Sony's made to it for supporting it going forward, and it looks like they've definitely got a lot of things lined up for it. There's a lot of games. There's even a few more games we've yet to mention that are PSVR or have PSVR support. So I'm really pleased as a somewhat early adopter of PSVR. I'm happy with owning it, and I look forward to playing it. So I'm not sure about you though, Claire. You're also an early adopter. How would you think? How do you think about this?
I'm kind of at a crossroads with it. Really, I'm very glad I have the same type of opinion. I'm very glad to see a lot of games come out for it. I was very surprised to see the amount of content that is going to come out for it, but I'm just afraid none of the content really seemed exciting to me personally. So that's just on my end, if you understand. But I still really feel that they're definitely supporting it. But I'm not sure if it's relevant to me the way it's going forward. But it's just stuff I need to review in the future. But I definitely would agree. I was surprised at the amount of content that was revealed over this conference.
How about you, Void, and also Punish as well, but don't answer at the same time. But as two people who don't have PSVR and are looking to owning one in the future, how do you feel about the current situation with PSVR and support? Punish, you first.
I was actually really, really happy with the amount of games it showed at the conference. It's actually making me want to get a PSVR. the one game that actually kind of stuck out for me, and you guys had mentioned it before, was the Starlight Child or whatever it is. That game actually makes me want to get one.
Okay, all right, cool. And Void?
Yeah, I think it's really nice to see them putting so much effort on the PSVR, where like probably all of the game that were announced were PSVR games, so it's really interesting. Just question of price and money, I think, is the main reason where like I just bought a PlayStation like a month or two ago where it's trophy hunt with it, so probably in the future I think I'll get a PlayStation VR. I will really like to try it because I never tried VR before, but not for now.
The thing I've noticed with PSVR games is they seem more often than not shortly after they launch on the store, they're in sales. So I always wait and pick up PSVR games in sales. Some of them have been really good. Some of them have been like the big sort of launch window ones that I've got for a third of their original price, and it's been worth it. So they're always in
and with
sales.
the PlayStation Plus giving some PSVR games right now, we're getting a second one this month. Maybe in 1 year or two, when I will buy a PlayStation VR, I will already have like a small collection.
Yeah,
a little bit like I did with the PS Vita, so that's pretty cool. So it might be worth it.
Sound advice, which was from what we used to say with PS Vita and still do. Like, if you don't have a Vita and you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, claim the games because you never know, you may own one in the future. And now with PSVR games being on PlayStation Plus every so often, and surely going forward, just claim them. So if you do eventually down the line get a PlayStation VR unit, at least you've got a little backlog to play immediately without spending any extra money. Okay, carrying on with the PSVR theme, the next game that was announced was Stifled, and this game looks really interesting to me. It's like a survival horror type game, not dissimilar to Outlast, like it's first person. But the sort of hook to this game that makes it unique is everything's pitch black. It's almost as if like you're blind, and the only way you can see around is by echo. So it's completely black. You can't see where you're going, but you throw something like, say, a stone or an object, and the ripples from the echo of the stone hitting the ground creates the environment around you. It's all black and white, and I think there's some red in there as well. When you throw the stone, the ripples create the walls and the environment and like pipes above you and not quite textures, but you can see where you've got to go next. And there's something after you as well, so it's not like you're not alone in the dark. There was something, I think, stalking you, or there's enemies.
Yeah, and this kind of enemies are attracted to sound, so it'll be really tricky to progress sometimes.
That is the main sort of mechanic of the game. You use sound to see where you're going, but the sound also attracts enemies towards you. So you've got to use it sparingly, or you've got to have there's a bit of tactics behind it. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Definitely look really similar at the Unfinished one, where
that's
you just kind of paint the world with your rock and sound.
I imagine it being quite tense, and definitely I can imagine the enemies just sneaking up on you and just basically screaming in your face.
Probably a really hard platinum trophy.
That's even if it has a platinum trophy, because a lot of PSVR games don't have platinum trophies, which is a bit annoying, really, because there's a few games out there which could have easily had a platinum trophy. For example, Psychonauts, Rhombus of Ruin, really good PSVR game, quite a short experience, but I feel there was enough to do in that game to have a platinum trophy, but alas, it didn't. But I'm looking forward to this game, definitely interested. How about you, Claire? Did you see the footage of it?
Yeah, like I said again, it didn't really pique my interest actually. So I think actually I'd have to put a pass on that.
Oh, okay, fair enough then. Anyone else want to add anything about Stifled before we move on?
Nope.
No, it was a pass for me. So no.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, somewhat PSVR related. The next one, of course, because it's got PSVR support, and also it is a survival horror. It's Resident Evil 7. The announcement was for the Not a Hero DLC, the free Chris Redfield DLC that was announced ages ago and delayed. But at the same time, they also kind of tagged onto this trailer the gold edition of Resident Evil 7, which has all the DLC, the found footage DLC included, Not a Hero, and also can't remember the name off the top of my head, but like Zoe's Story or something, another additional DLC. included as well. We spoke about Resident Evil at length on this podcast. We've also spoke a little bit about the Gold Edition, and personally, as I said before on a previous episode, I really hope the Gold Edition has a separate trophy list because I would happily buy it and play Resident Evil 7 again, both in normal TV and on PSVR, because that game's fantastic in both mediums. And I'd love another excuse to platinum it again because it was really good, really fun.
Yeah, that's probably the only way I'll play that new content that we're speaking about here now, is if the Gold Edition comes out with a different trophy list.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope, fingers crossed, because if it does, I'm really hoping it is, because all the DLCs added in, it would be nice to have one huge list to go through. It would be interesting to have to do all the DLC to get the platinum, but we've had Game of the Year editions with different separate trophy lists. We've had Shadow of Mordor. Claire, you've done The Witcher a few times, different regions, and also Game of the Year edition as well. So it is possible. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I do it quite often, actually, more than I think.
Yeah, it does happen.
So it'll probably be a pass for me. It's a big Resident Evil fans.
Did you play 7, just the regular edition?
No, not yet. I might play it, but I don't know. I'm not interested.
All right. And you Punish any thing on it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Resident Evil series. I haven't played 7 yet. I actually have it on my backlog. I picked it up in the most recent sale. But if they do put it out on PS4, I mean PSVR, I will definitely look at picking that up. Also, when I do get my unit, because just like the type of the immersion from what I've seen in the videos, really drives me to playing the game.
Well, you said you'd be picking it up, but you already have Resident Evil 7. You said.
Yes, I do, but I didn't know if it was separate from the VR, if it's just on PS4.
No, VR. No, the VR is in the regular edition.
Oh, okay. So then I already have it then, so I'm good to go. Yeah. I look forward to playing it on PSVR.
Oh, it's fantastic on PSVR. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's PSVR's best experience as well.
Yeah, well, there you go. You've already got it, and you didn't even know. So,
yeah, so there you go. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm excited about it.
Okay, moving on to the next game. Can't really say anything for this one myself. Claire, you could probably say a little bit about it, seeing as you're a fan of the series. Maybe not particularly this game. This was the Final Fantasy 15 episode Ignis.
Yes.
I can't really say anything about it personally because I've never played a Final Fantasy game. Not really on my radar. But if anyone else wants to have a crack at an opinion on this, please do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to episode Ignis for a while. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy 15. I think they did an amazing job with the open world. I mean, just basically everything with the gameplay, with the soundtracks that come with it, being able to drive around. But Ignis was one of my favorite characters, and I'm very, very happy for this episode to come out, and then also to find out what happens to him, because there's huge story gaps in the gameplay. And these episodes are meant to fill in those story gaps, and being able to find out what exactly happened to him, that's the most exciting part about
it. Okay. Well, at least one of us here is happy for it.
Yeah. You seem to have all the happiness that represents all four of us, because I devoid of any kind of happiness or any hype for this episode. I didn't really like Final Fantasy 15, so I'm definitely not interested in any DLC for it.
Okay. All right, then, moving on. Next game, the Hong Kong Massacre. The best way I can really describe this game is like a realistic-looking top-down shooter that really reminded me of...
Blade Runner GTA, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, GTA is a good one. I was actually going to say Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami, yep.
It's like... Just imagine a realistic-looking Hotline Miami, like a top-down, like GTA style, twin sticks kind of shooter. One controls your aim, and the other one controls your body, so you can strafe. But it's set in Hong Kong, and it looks like it's sort of got some cover, not kind of cover. It's basically Hotline Miami. I can't really explain it any more than that.
It's looking
That's
pretty
all
good.
I can really say.
I liked it. It's looked like realistic.
Yeah, it looked realistic, like physics and lighting and all of that. Just like top down, looks really nice. I tried Hotline Miami. I know it's probably similar, but not too similar, but not really for me, that sort of thing. I was watching the trailer for it and I kind of like was drifting in and out. It's not really my kind of game. So unless, it's got some kind of easy trophy list, it's probably not really something I'm going to spend a lot of time playing. Really didn't like Hotline Miami, the sort of trial and error style of it. I can imagine it's going to be similar in that respect. A lot of trial and error in these types of games. I can imagine it being quite difficult as well from what I've seen from the trailer. It looks like you're up against a lot of enemies. Does anyone else have anything on it?
No, probably be a pass again.
It'll probably be a pass for me. I attempted Hotline Miami once, and I really didn't enjoy the game. And just from what I saw from the conference, I probably won't be picking it up.
Yeah, I'm not into those style of games either, so it'll probably be a pass for me.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to move on to the next one. And this one's definitely one of the bigger games we're going to talk about. So we'll maybe put a little bit more time into this segment. This is Sucker Punch's new game. They've been quiet for quite a long time now since they put out Infamous Second Son / First Light. They've sort of been under wraps for a long time. No one's really said anything. And their new IP, Ghost of Tsushima, is a samurai-style game. They showed what I assume was in-engine footage. It looks amazing, looks absolutely fantastic. And if you'd played Infamous Second Son and First Light, I can see where that their like sort of facial capture sort of technology, facial animation has definitely like evolved past that, and it looks fantastic. No gameplay, but I imagine it's going to be on par with their previous games, a sort of third-person action adventure style game, playing as a samurai.
It's looking pretty nice. After playing, I don't think I ever been like a big samurai fan, but after playing Neo, which was really really enjoyable, like I really love it. Like this game seems to be an open world.
That's what I thought it would be. That's what I thought it was going to be when I was watching the trailer. Until I realized the Sucker Punch at the very end, I thought it could actually be like a Nioh thing. So
and Infamous game were really nice. So
when I was watching the trailer until the very end, when it said Sucker Punch, I was thinking, "Oh, is this a Dynasty Warriors game? Because this is really gay. I'm really not interested." And then it said Sucker Punch at the end, and just instantly the switch turned, and it's like, "Oh, this is going to be." Yeah, I'm a big fan of like Sucker Punch. I love the Sly Cooper games, love the Infamous games, so I'm willing to give it a shot. It's not really my normal type of game, not really the source material I'm not really interested in, but I will definitely, give my attention to it that it's Sucker Punch because I've enjoyed their previous works. So no gameplay or anything, just a very light story trailer, just to kind of give you to set the kind of theme and set the tone for it. Other than that, there's not really that much to go on. It seems must be. I'm getting vibes of maybe a revenge story or something by the voices in the trailer of what they're describing, but it's
your whole village burned down and you take up the sword kind of thing. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's very early days though, because I remember the very first announcement trailer for Uncharted 4 had like a voice actor in it who later left the game, and they changed the tone of it completely. So it's really early. With these announcement trailers, you've got to take it with like a grain of salt, because things change during development. So early to say, but it's looking promising. So I'm definitely interested in it for sure, and I assume you guys are as well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, for sure,
I will probably wait to see if they release some DLC or stuff. If there is like a complete edition that will come, but otherwise I will probably jump on it.
Oh, you sound like you're a publisher's like wet dream. I'm going to wait for DLC and season passes.
Yeah, but I want to buy the probably complete edition at the end instead of buying it on release.
Yeah, sure. We did
a couple of patches probably.
All right then. Punish, did you say you're interested in this game?
Oh, I'm definitely interested. I'm a huge fan of Sucker Punch. I'm a huge fan of all their games. And there was rumors spreading around that Sucker Punch was going to be releasing a new IP. And when I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, come on, please, 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 tell me this is them." And then finally, at the end, when they showed the developer symbol, I was like, "Yes, finally." So I'll definitely be probably picking this up on day one.
Sweet. Okay, cool, excellent. All right, moving on to a smaller game, Concrete Genie. This game I'm really interested in. It's it's sort of cartoony, third person sort of adventure game. It looks like I can't really describe it, but it looks like you can graffiti onto walls, and your art and graffiti comes to life and helps you out. It's kind of like got a puzzle element to it. It seems. You play as a kid, and he's got like a magic paintbrush. The art style is fantastic. It kind of reminds me of that that film Coraline, that stop motion animation film.
Oh, yeah, I never watched it, but I think I know what it is.
Sort of reminds me of that.
It's looking like that.
Looks like everything looks like dolls, if you know what I mean. Like it's got like fabrics and all of that. But it's set in an urban kind of environment, as name suggests, like concrete streets, kind of grubby urban streets, and it looks like you can add a bit of color to the environment. Sort of give life to your art, and it's all like monsters, kind of goofy looking monsters, and it seems they have different powers to help you through environments. Like in one part of the trailer, there's a gate, and you draw on a monster that has like an electrical body, and the monster moves and touches a power.
Yeah, it's probably a puzzle type of game, because they show some gameplay, but we don't really know what the game is about besides drawing things. But
yeah, I wonder how that's going to work. Like, how free is your ability to draw things? Like templates, because it looked like it had a kind of Little Big Planet style user interface where it kind of pops open a menu, and you can choose like shapes and different tools and such. So I wonder how much sort of creativity you can truly have, or how sort of how little creativity you can have, and you need to use templates or specific monsters that they give you to use. I don't know. It's early days, but I think it supports that new mobile platform thing that PlayStation were advertising.
PlayLink.
PlayLink, that's it. I'm pretty sure they said somewhere in the trailer it may support PlayLink, so maybe you can draw stuff on your phone and it goes into the game. So it would kind of make sense if you had like a touchscreen or a tablet or something, and you could just draw onto the walls in the game.
They could really sit on Vita. They will have a touchscreen.
Possibly, but I'm just guessing at that. By the way, I'm pretty sure there was a PlayLink logo for this trailer, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyone else
I don't think I see the PlayLink, but there's a game coming after it that using PlayLink.
But before we move on, Concrete Genie. Anyone else interested in it?
Yeah, I did. I definitely loved the trailer for it. It looked beautiful, especially with all the art and the animation style. So, I mean, I probably won't pick it up the day that it comes out, but I'll probably get some feedback on it first before I end up picking it up. But I'm definitely interested in it.
Yeah, same for me. It's going in the way of Punish. I will wait, but I will probably end up playing that game.
Okie dokie. All right, next game was Erica. This game I can describe as, if anyone has played games such as
The Bunker.
There we go. I said it at the same time. The Bunker or Night Shift, where it uses
Late Shift.
Late Shift. Sorry, not Night Shift. Late Shift, where it uses real life actors footage all shot, and then you make the decisions, and it basically plays out how you make your decisions. Looks exactly the same type of game. Uses real life footage, real actors, and you just make decisions. You get prompts on the screen.
And that's the game that is using PlayLink. I'm not sure how they are using it, but it's there in the trailer all the time.
I imagine maybe it uses PlayLink. Again, this is just off the top of my head. I can't confirm this, but maybe it uses PlayLink how... is it the Telltale games where you can attach your smartphone and you vote for the choice? There's definitely a game out there where you vote for a choice. I think it might be one of the Telltale games where you can play along with your friends.
Could it be a PlayLink where like streamers will go on stream and like the viewers could vote with them to decide where do they go?
That's what Telltale games do when you can stream.
I don't remember which Telltale do that.
No, I think Tales of the Borderlands did that one.
Yeah.
I think it was Tales of the Borderlands.
I think. Was it Until Dawn? Didn't that have some kind of like PlayLink style kind of thing where you could vote or something? It had multiplayer to it in that respect. Anyway, we're going a little bit off topic, but yeah, Erica looks like a multiple choice live action kind of style game. I'm definitely interested in it for sure. I really enjoyed The Bunker, and I really enjoyed Late Shift. I thought that game was really good. It's not the most video game, if you know what I mean. There's not really much gameplay to it. It's just an interactive story, an interactive dramatic story. And if it's cheap enough, it's like an afternoon, a bit of entertainment.
Yeah, and if it's as good as The Bunker and Late Shift, I will totally play it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's from the same. It's not from the same developers because the game was advertised as their debut game. So this is from a new developer, but from a different developer. I mean, but it's a very similar style to those two previous games by another developer. Okay, moving on. Next game, PSVR game, Blood and Truth. When I saw this trailer, I thought they had taken that tech demo, that London tech demo from London the PSVR Heist. And made the London Heist and made it into a full game. It looks like they kind of have. It's not the London Heist, but it looks like they've taken the idea of London Heist and fleshed it out a little bit more. You're some kind of like soldier or agent or spy with a really bad Cockney accent, and you can like break into buildings and hold people up. I think it looks really good.
It's probably it's probably the VR game that caught my attention the most, to be honest. Because, like you said, I really enjoyed that tech demo, the London Heist. I think that's a great experience, and this seems like an extension of it, I believe, as well.
If the gameplay is representative of what's in that trailer, the game looks really good, especially like the face animation. But I'm not really too sure if we're looking at actual gameplay there or just a CG trailer representative of the gameplay, because it's really hard to tell from that trailer. But I'm looking.
I didn't like the feel of the trailer too much. For me, it's Red Steel, which was a game on the Wii that I played a couple of years ago. The way that he's holding the gun and firing, it's really looked like a Wii game with a lot of nice, better graphics and stuff. So yeah, even if I had a PSVR, I don't think I will go for it.
I definitely need to see more, and about it. And again, price is always an issue. Not an issue, sorry. Price is always like a factor as well. But as I said, PSVR games are often end up in sales. I need to see a little bit more about it, but it looks like it could be pretty fleshed out. You've got like cover-based shooting. It looks like kind of sneaking sections. You've got like lock picking and such. I can imagine it being very interesting game. I'd definitely give it a go, or at least give it a chance. So I'd say I'm interested. I won't pass it. Definitely say I'm interested. And you, Claire, you seem pretty interested in it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, a lot of the other VR stuff didn't really interest me, but this one definitely did, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Punish, any thoughts on Blood and Truth?
Yeah, it looked really interesting. And once I get my PSVR, it'll probably be one of the games I'll definitely pick it up. But I don't know if I'll have the unit by then, so I'll check out some of the videos and some of the reviews for it too, and see how it is. So.
Okay, cool. Just another announcement. Not really much to talk about. They just showed a Far Cry 5 co-op trailer.
Oh yeah.
Not really much I can say about that, to be honest. I'm definitely getting Far Cry 5 to begin with. I'm sold on that game already. And co-op, never interested in it on Far Cry. It's the only time I ever play it if you have to do trophies. But
like Far Cry 4.
I hope it's only co-op and they didn't put some multiplayer trophy down there, because they're always so boring on Far Cry's game. But
yeah,
the game looked good.
I remember having to do co-op trophies on Far Cry 4 where you had to you had to get in a game with a friend, and someone had to drive a Jeep and the other person had to shoot.
There'll probably be some. There are some on Far Cry 3 too, so probably be some co-op trophies.
I remember there was no co-op trophies for Far Cry Primal though, which was great, and they got rid of the multiplayer as well. So that was a step in the right direction for me, for my tastes at least personally. So fingers crossed. But whenever they put the effort into co-op, they're going to probably chuck some trophies into it as well. But I plan on getting Far Cry 5 around the launch window, so there might be some people on my list or on my Twitter that might want to jump in and help me out, or vice versa. So won't completely rule it out, but I'm already sold on that game, so I haven't much to say about the co-op trailer for it. Anyone else has
I'll
anything to say?
probably wait until the game will be like $10. Like I buy Far Cry 4 and Far Cry Primal when they were super cheap. It's kind of game that go on sale really cheap.
A lot of those single player first person shooter games I always buy on sale.
Okay. Next trailer they showed was the first expansion for Destiny 2, Curse of Osiris. Seems to be some kind of legendary rogue guardian that you seem to need to find or something. I haven't played Destiny 2 and it's not really on my radar, but Claire, you've put some time into Destiny 2, to say the least. So
Punish has as well.
Input on it?
Me and Punish,
Punish.
yeah, we both play and have been active in the Destiny section of the Discord. I am looking forward to it purely because when I bought Destiny, I bought the expansion pack version. So I already have those 2 expansions coming to me. I don't know, new raid, new stuff like this. I'm not as mad into Destiny as Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 as I was Destiny 1. I still enjoy it, but I hope there's trophies. That's the main thing for me, to be honest, and get it. It looks good, but Destiny 2 has a lot of flaws. They didn't really build on top of Destiny 1, I don't find. So
I'm sure there will be trophies because, as we discussed on previous episodes, isn't like Destiny 2 only got like 14 or 15 trophies overall? So I have a feeling they'll chuck in a few trophies.
Yeah, but the first 2 expansion packs, in Destiny Year 1 didn't have trophies, and then the last 2 expansion packs did add trophies. So this is the first 2 expansion packs of Year 1 of Destiny. So I was just kind of still a bit worried because it happened before. It might happen again, but I really, really hope that there is trophies because then I'll be pretty pissed that I pay that extra for content that doesn't really. Because I would never buy DLC, especially I would never. It's very rare I would buy DLC and a full game up front, So
sure. And Punish, any input for it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I bought the entire package as well. I have all the DLC already for it, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to additional content, and I'm just to touch on what Claire said. I'm really hoping they have trophies with it.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure you can put your mind at ease. I'm confident they'll add more trophies because such a small base trophy list is room for additional trophies for sure. Okay, next game, Ure, spelled Oure, pronounced Ure. This game, when I first saw it, just instantly reminded me of Rime. The visual style is so much like Rime. But it looks like it has like flying, and it looks like you can turn into a dragon. So you play as a kid, a boy.
It looks like Journey. It looks like Journey.
Yeah, it's like Journey, Rime, those type of games, and it looks like you can turn into a dragon and fly, and it looks really nice. It looks like you said, Journey or Rime, those kind of peaceful, relaxing kind of not too stressful.
It's looking nice.
Yeah, I really like the look of it as well. Those are the type of games that I really, really enjoy. Journey at the very end of it has this magnificent flying section through it, and that kind of reminds me of it, to be honest. So that's why I'm really interested in picking it up.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely interested in it. It's a lovely game. I imagine if it has like pro support, it would look fantastic on a 4K TV. If they do decide to go anywhere close to like dynamic 4K or whatever it is they call it these days. Looks lovely. I definitely look forward to playing it, and it would be nice if it had pro support and HDR. But
yeah,
there's never any guarantee with the smaller studios adding that kind of like support. But you never know. Looks good. Anyone else interested in Ure?
Yeah, for sure. I will. I'll go.
Looks like we all are. Looks like we all are.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I'm sorry about that, man, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in it. And I just had a question. Isn't it already out on the PS Store?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah. You are right. It launched on that day, the day of Paris Games Week, of the PlayStation press conference. So it is actually out there. So there should be a trophy list.
Maybe we can get it. We can discuss it next week's episode, and it might actually be something I might pick up maybe next month or something. I already have this month's allotment of games to go through, but I'm glad to know it's. I love surprises like that where they like they did with Final Fantasy 9 as well, and this
it's
as well.
Now.
Yeah, it's kind of out now. It's a fantastic surprise. I really enjoy stuff like that, so I hope they do more of that in the future. I'm very surprised actually. I didn't know it was already out.
Yeah, I think the game is like $20 US.
Yeah, it's not a bad
It's
price.
26 Canadian. So
usually what they do is
it's
when
not too bad.
games come out in a surprise like that, they'll be like 10% off or maybe plus members for like the first week when you buy or
Yeah.
something like that. So maybe it might be good. But it's definitely a game that I was very, very interested in. One of the ones that caught my eye the most at the entire conference.
Okay. Next game, Monster Hunter World. Can't say I'm interested personally. I know loads of people love the Monster Hunter games, and a lot of people are excited for this big sort of more open world kind of.
Is anyone here a actual Monster Hunter previous fan?
Not me. I've never played it before.
Okay, I've never played them before either. But apparently, from what I know, a lot of people have told me on Twitter that it's primarily a mobile game. So for it to come on to a full console platform, a lot of people expect.
It has a very big following back on the Nintendo DS as well.
Massive.
Yeah, the DS.
A lot of people think that the console platform is going to be like show off the way the game could be. But to be honest, like when I was looking at it, without all the menu systems and stuff like that, it reminded me of something like Dark Souls, where you're just going up to massive big bosses that are primarily animals or monsters, you know. To me, it's definitely got my attention straight away. So I think it'll probably be a first day purchase for me. Something
it does seem like that type of gameplay.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
really does. Yeah.
Also, during the trailer, they showed off that the PlayStation exclusive content would feature Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn as well as a playable character, and also have a little kind of robot dinosaur looking raccoon thing as a companion as well. So
there's so many loot kind of aspects to it after you kill bosses and enemies to it apparently, but like I really like the ideas that the developers came out and said like that they don't have any loot boxes attached to it. There's no microtransactions, there's no in-game stores to any like, you know, that connects to real money.
That's really a comment on the state of video games as a general when you have to come out
advertise
and say,
it like that.
We don't have loot crates and microtransactions. You know, that's kind of
we're getting into a very, very dark. I think that's another episode, to be honest. But we're getting into a very different industry. It's leading into it because, I'm very, very hyped for this game because it seems to retain some of the older core values of single player, but still delivering like the very latest experience because it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks amazing, and I know that there's PlayStation 4 Pro support as well going for it. So. And being a primarily mobile game, jumping to a console platform is supposed to get the best out of the hardware. So I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people like really, really like it. And a lot of those people like the same type of games that I do, and they've told me that I would like it as well. So that's definitely is my interest.
All right. Next thing they showed, don't really need to go really in depth about it. But they showed a little bit of some new footage for Call of Duty World War II. Not really interested in COD games myself. I don't know about any of you guys. Punish?
Yeah, I have it pre-ordered. I just got the message from GameStop saying, "Come pick up your copy tonight." And I'm kind of teetering on picking it up tonight. I mean, I pre-ordered the steel bookcase, a special edition that comes with a season pass and comes with a figurine, a bunch of other crap, and I'm just like, oh, do I really? Because I'm playing Assassin's Creed right now, and it's just like I don't want to stop playing Assassin's Creed. I just want to. I want to stick with it because I'm enjoying it so much. And if I buy Call of Duty, I'm probably going to end up jumping over to that instead of finishing up Assassin's Creed. So I probably won't pick it up tonight.
Well, wasn't the Call of Duty trailer a DLC trailer, or was it actually a story?
I believe it was. It was.
I think it's a deluxe edition. You have a map.
It's Karantan because I know that from the Band of Brothers TV episode. Karantan was a famous.
It's one of the first time that Call of Duty like bring me a little bit of interest because Karantan is one of the like favorite map of so many people from Call of Duty 2, which was like the Call of Duty that I played the most, and I play a lot of it back in the day. So I think they made a really good choice by bringing back this map.
I don't
think I will play it anyway.
I think it's the community. I think it's probably the most that puts me off COD the most. But
I completely agree with you.
I'm not interested in it otherwise.
Okay. Next game, Onrush. The best way I can describe this is MotorStorm. It honestly looks like the old MotorStorm games that first started on PS3. Sort of. different kind of off-road vehicles, kind of, but kind of a little bit wackier. It looks like it's more sort of stunt orientated. So you've got like bikes and dune buggies and such, and you're racing, and it looks like you can do loads of different tricks and stuff. It kind of gives me a vibe of those old SSX snowboarding games in regards to the kind of I don't really want to say wackiness again, but that's just how I can really describe it. It seems a bit kind of over the top. Can't say I'm interested too much because I'm not a fan of racing games, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's made by Codemasters as well, and we also know that the most of the developers from Drive Club, after Evolution Studios closed down, a lot of them went to Codemasters, and apparently this is one of the games that kind of came as a result of that. So that's why I think it has a lot of that kind of MotorStorm feel to it, because Evolution Studio did MotorStorm, so I think they brought a lot of that over to it. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be interested in it either, but it depends on how the reception is. So,
anyone else have any input on it? Void, how are you for racing games?
No, I love racing game. It seems to be the kind of game that I will enjoy, but the trailer was short and just show some car hitting each other and boosting. Like, I feel like the trailer was a little bit poor, but it's looking good anyway. But I'll have to see when there will be more gameplay trailer or something.
Okay, fair enough. Punish, how are you for racing games? Anything, did that grab your interest at all?
No, not at all. I despise racing games.
I can relate. I'm not a big fan of racing games, at least of that type. I like karting games and Wipeout, so that's about my my expertise as far as racing, competitive racing goes. Anyway, okay, another big game coming up. The much anticipated PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man, Insomniac's upcoming game. They showed a trailer which was more story heavy. Looks like it went a little bit more in detail about characters that are in the game. Looks absolutely incredible. That's the facial animations of the characters. It just looks just insane. Like we always sort of like say this for every like huge game that comes out, like every year or every generation we're blown away, but I can't even. It's crazy. When you look, just watching the trailer, just everything is so bright and vibrant and colorful and well animated. It's Insomniac. It's just polished.
Yeah,
polished to perfection.
It looks fantastic. Their game engine, like even for Ratchet and Clank, it looked amazing on PlayStation 4. It looked fantastic. Now that they've had a lot more time, and when they're working on a platform that they've been working on, and they've had a history of for so long, I think they're able to get the best out of it. And Spider-Man looks the real deal. It looks like a full-on Spider-Man game, like something that a lot of people have wanted for a long time. So I'm really looking forward to it.
We've discussed before on this podcast that they've definitely learned lessons from building Sunset Overdrive on Xbox One in regards to an open world kind of city kind of game. So I really look forward to. I never played Sunset Overdrive. I don't have an Xbox, but if it came to PS4, I'd definitely try Sunset Overdrive. But it looks like the sort of style of that in terms of like what they learned from combat in cities or on buildings, they must have applied to Spider-Man on a much bigger scale.
I've never played it either. Unfortunately, I never will, because it'll never come to PlayStation 4 because Microsoft publish it. So they definitely won't be able to do it. They'll never give the license over to come to PlayStation 4. But like I said, I would have definitely picked it up and played it because I love Insomniac. But I'm really glad that they kind of swung around back to us and decided to make a top quality game.
There, swung around. Was that intentional?
No, it was, yes, yeah.
Nicely done.
Okay.
Just absolute. I've said on Twitter previously that I'm sold on this game. I don't need to see any more trailers. The moment that they announced that they said Insomniac and Spider-Man game, I was already sold. I was there like not necessarily day one, but definitely from launch, because
some developers just have my money already. To be honest, it's kind of down to the developer. I'd only need to know a little bit of information about the developer, and then I'd kind of agree whether to part money or not. And if you had said to me Insomniac and Spider-Man, that's all I would need to know. I'd be like, yeah, I'm there. I'm there. You know what I mean? Like someone
Yeah,
says
I'm looking
Rockstar.
into it too.
Rockstar.
I
there,
love
you know?
Marvel so much, and I don't play enough. I feel like I don't play enough Marvel games, so I'm really looking at this one.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because the trailer only, I assume, shows like it's such a small cross section of what's going to go on in regards to the story. But I imagine that we're going to see, hopefully, I hope we're going to see side missions with other villains as well. Because in that trailer, you see just for a second, you see Shocker in that trailer fighting Spider-Man. So I'm really hoping we see loads of other famous Spider-Man villains as well. I imagine that not unlike the Arkham games, there's going to be tons of Easter eggs and references to maybe not just Spider-Man, but fingers crossed, hopefully just Marvel in general. Like I know there's a lot of legal things and contracts and stuff with MCU and all of that, but it would be good to have nods towards other famous Marvel franchises.
How awesome would it be if they actually set up like a full-on Marvel like game where like there's a developer making Spider-Man, another developer makes like, you know, Iron Man games or Thor games or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like if the way games move, the way the movies kind of section is moves, you know. It'd be really, really cool. But I still would be, I'm still looking forward to, like you said, seeing all the little kind of I don't know, I guess the fan service in the game, you know, like Kingpin, they might have some comic book stuff and all that. Might even have some Stan Lee stuff, you know what I mean? So,
I just hope they don't have 700 comic book pages to collect.
Like the other one,
as a reference to our previous episode when my tricky trophy was for Amazing Spider-Man on PS Vita. Having to collect 700 collectibles for that trophy. I think Insomniac are probably a little kinder than that. I don't think they're going to need to fill their game out with almost endless collectibles to push the hour count up. I think there's going to be plenty of decent things to do in that game other than mindless collectibles. Okay, so moving on to our next game. Detroit Become Human, the Quantic Dream interactive sort of drama game. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls. This one is set in the future about androids, and I'm sold on it. I liked Heavy Rain. I really like Beyond Two Souls. I wouldn't call myself a massive fan of Quantic Dream, but I like their games enough. I know people give them games a lot of shit, but they're fine. They're entertaining enough, and the trailer was pretty brutal, if I'm honest, for this particular game. After all these sort of like pretty positive, high energy trailers, we had quite a interesting one. There's like child abuse in it and pretty violent, pretty dark, but those are the kind of tones that these Quantic Dream games have always taken. I mean, look at Heavy Rain, for example. That game is basically about child murder throughout all of it. So adult themes, absolutely 100% adult themes. But I'm definitely interested in it. It looks like it's going to be quite intense if this one trailer is to be believed. How about you, Punish? What's your thoughts on Detroit?
I think the game looks beautiful. I mean, from what they showed at the conference, it made me really excited for the game. I mean, I never played Heavy Rain. I didn't have a PS3 at the time when it came out, but just the gameplay, the story, I'm a very big fan of choose your own adventures, or make your own choices. And that end part of the video where it shows you the hundreds of different possibilities is what hooked me into the game. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'll definitely probably pick it up on day one.
As someone who has platinumed Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls twice actually, once on PS3 and then the PS4 version. These multiple choice, choose your own adventure, as you say, games can be quite long-winded to get all the trophies, but some people create some really good guides where you can use clever save techniques to kind of save it at pivotal moments. I definitely say that Beyond Two Souls was easier to platinum than Heavy Rain, because with Heavy Rain it had like something crazy, like 20 odd different endings you had to watch, where Beyond Two Souls had quite a few less, but it was still such a chore to get through. But this game does look way in terms of like choice and direction for the games to go, it looks like it has a lot more to choose from, loads of different outcomes for each scene.
It's looking nicer than the two other. It's still just a trailer, but I feel like maybe they polish and they did something better than before. So it's pretty nice to see that.
How about you, Claire?
Yeah, I played both Heavy Rain and the other game, Beyond Two Souls. I really enjoyed both of them. I definitely will be picking this up as well. I do like those kind of interactive story, choice-based games. Some people don't, I know they don't, but I definitely will. I don't think I've ever picked them up at launch, so this one will probably follow suit. Depends on, like, this trailer didn't sway me enough to want to buy it day one, so unless more information comes out that leads me to do it, but it's definitely a purchase for me at least. So
yeah, sure, me too. I'm definitely interested in it. I mirror your sentiments as well. Probably not at launch, but maybe close to it. But definitely we'll get it one day. Next game, not really too much we can say about this because it's just a little sliver of more footage. God of War, PS4 God of War. Just showed a tiny little bit more of gameplay of combat. We can't really add anything more to it than what we've already said in the past or what we've already seen. It's just more of the same. Not to sound like we're writing the game off. Game looks fantastic. I'm absolutely there. Like perhaps day one. I'm a big God of War fan, and this game absolutely has my attention 100%. Can I speak for you guys to say they're also interested in God of War?
Oh yes, I'm a huge fan of the God of War series. I loved them. I loved every single game. There wasn't one that I didn't like, and I'm a huge fan of mythology too. And that they went with the Greek route, but this time they're going with the Norse route. I'm really looking forward to find out, what types of storyline that they're going to use inside the game. I mean, the gameplay looks fantastic, but what I'm really looking forward to is what they throw into the story, like what gods they bring in, what deities they bring in, and things like that.
It looks like they're focusing on, like with Norse mythology, looks like trolls have a big part in this game as enemies. Trolls being part of sort of Norse culture and folklore. And in the first gameplay trailer they ever showed of God of War PS4, he fights a big troll-looking thing. So yeah, more of that. Don't really have anything else more to say about that unless anyone else wants to add.
No, I never play God of War, so
you should. I have all the platinums. They're amazing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, very good game. Recommend it.
I will try it probably one day, but it doesn't attract me that much.
Okay.
Even if the game is looking beautiful.
Okay.
Probably pass.
Next game. We're almost getting to the end now. Just a few more announcements left. Next one is I'd say was a pretty big announcement. Came out of nowhere when it was first announced, but the Shadow of Colossus remake for PS4. I played Shadow of the Colossus, the PS3 HD remaster. I can't remember if I spoke about it on this show before, but didn't really click with me. I found the controls were too old and sort of clunky and cumbersome. I only played about an hour of it, and I gave up. I couldn't even climb up anything. I was really frustrated. I just felt it was a bit outdated. But I will give this game a chance for sure because I feel that being remade with modern gaming, modern controls, modern hardware, I feel that maybe it will work better. Not to say that the original game was like broken or anything. I just feel that it hadn't aged well, particularly. So I have high hopes for this game. Void, how about you? Have you had any experience with
No, I never played it. And looking at the old game, it didn't look attractive. It's like if I learn about Shadow of Colossus too late. But this game is looking great, but I'll probably wait for the review and a couple of patch because I feel like they could miss it. I'm not sure.
It'll get the special treatment. That's a very special and revered game.
Yeah,
and it's done in house by Sony. They'll definitely give it the special treatment. And
it's really strange, isn't it? How they spent a lot of time delaying Last Guardian, and then like a few months after Last Guardian came out, don't quote me exactly on the amount of time, but it seemed like only a very short time. Then bang, Shadow of the Colossus remake just straight away. It seemed to kind of completely overshadow Last Guardian. That's like kind of forgotten about now. It's launched and it's gone, and now.
And I feel because they like, I heard more negative stuff about The Last Guardian than positive.
Yeah,
I feel a little bit the same about Shadow of Colossus. I'm a little bit worried to.
They're all wrong.
See just the camera angle that everyone complained about. Like,
yeah,
didn't make it right with The Last Guardian. Will they be able to do it well this time?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not that bad, like, and it's kind of their style anyway. Like, you know what I mean. And you have to accept that as their style. If you know, it's not that they made a bad camera or a bad controls. That's their style, I believe, and that's the style of the game. So, I don't think.
I mean, you have to remember as well that speaking of like Last Guardian, that game was in development for a long, long time. So when it came out, it was outdated by years, you know, by like control standards. And also the same goes for the Shadow of the Colossus HD collection. It was a PS2 game. They remastered the visuals. They may have tweaked the controls, but it just felt so heavy and clunky to play.
This one's a full on, this one's a full on remake anyway. So I'm confident that, like, and I've heard
confident is the right word. I'd agree. I am confident that this will feel better to play.
Yeah, I've heard anyway. I've seen like the PlayStation Access guys. They had a video on it where they were doing like the very first boss. Like I'm mad into the game. I really, really love it. I don't have the platinum on it, but I really hope to get the platinum on PlayStation 4 version. But they were going through it, and they were like, one of the guys obviously was a big fan from the PlayStation 2 era, so he confirmed that the controls feel as if it was a PlayStation 4 game, and it doesn't feel like the PlayStation 2 game moved to PlayStation 4, because it's not that. It's a full-on remake, you know. It's not a remaster or a top-up or any kind of port or something like that. It is a full-on ground-up remake, so they've been able to kind of develop it the way they wanted to.
Okay. Spelunky 2 is the next game. I have no experience with the previous Spelunky game or games. I can't say I know not much about it. Does anyone have any experience with it?
Nope. I know it was a.
No, me neither.
It was a hard game to 100%. I don't think it had the Spelunky one was had a platinum, but it's like a roguelike game where you explore, and it's kind of super hard. Didn't look that interesting.
It just reminds me, like, I haven't really put too much into it, but I get SteamWorld Dig vibes from it, and it's cool, sort of like go back even further than that. Even like the digging of like Dig Dug, you know, like a classic kind of just digging and mining game. But on that basis, it's not for me. Not really interested. I know loads of people love the game. The game looks great, looks fantastic. I really like the art style for it, but it's a pass from me. It's not even on my radar. You know, but I hope people enjoy it. I can only wish fans of the series, the best, really.
Yeah, it's not something I'd be interested in either.
Yeah, same here. I'm not. They started playing the trailer for the game. I was like, okay, whatever.
Okay. Our second to last game, really quick one. Another PSVR title. Not much we can say on it because the trailer was really short. Didn't show any gameplay. Megalith. The trailer just showed like a big kind of beast-looking thing. Doesn't really outline any gameplay. There was a tiny couple of seconds towards the end where it shows you looking at your hands, so it suggests that you play as this big beast monster thing. That's all we can really say. That's really all the trailer showed. It was just mainly just text and just setting a tone for the game. I don't know if any of you guys have any input on it. That's all I can squeeze out of that trailer.
I don't think there's anything else to
add
to that.
Need more before we're gonna be able to say more. I think
it's looking nice, but it's empty. There's too many of those trailers that they put there that was a little bit empty.
Just the empty announcement trailers to say we exist, we're a game, we're here, more to follow. That's all you can really say about announcement trailers.
Probably forget about it in 1 week and hear about it next year.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just wait till I'll probably completely forget about it, and then when it pops up again, then I'll be excited for it.
Okay, now we're at our final announcement, and probably one of, if not the biggest announcement, was the a new trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. A particularly both visually stunning trailer, but also an incredibly dark and brutal trailer as well, which a lot of people have been talking about on social media recently about like the sheer brutality of the trailer. Personally, I didn't find it too shocking myself because I expected it from the tone of the trailer. I had a feeling it was Last of Us anyway to begin with. The first game's incredibly grim. I don't remember the first game being as violent as this. I know it was pretty violent, but definitely not so strikingly so. But I said on Twitter that this particular show of violence in this game, I know it came out of nowhere. We're seeing a lot of like positive, happy kind of cartoony trailers, and then suddenly out of nowhere we have this ultra violent sort of people being hung and having their arms broken kind of trailer. So it did come without warning, but I would say this was no more violent than an episode of The Walking Dead. Really, a lot of really gruesome things happened in that TV show, but I guess
wasn't as violent as 5 minutes ago. One God of War game. I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
yeah, I guess though, God of War
That's
games
totally
are sort of
fine.
not as realistic because of their context and their genre and their setting. But I can understand why a lot of people are sort of upset because it seemed to like come out of nowhere. I guess it caught people off guard for it to be so brutal, but it is what it is. It's got people talking. So
yeah, if you got a story to tell,
excited.
and the story tells like that, it represents that kind of thing. Like I don't know, I just think it's a story. You know, I didn't really feel it was brutal
Yeah.
in that way, off-putting for anyone really. Maybe I'm a bit surprised they had it during a conference that was so like it was a bit of a step up. I feel like it was an 18s rated kind of trailer in a 15, 12s rated concert maybe, but besides from that, I mean, it looks great. It looks fantastic. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, well, what happened in it aside, just it's unbelievable the technology that Naughty Dog has. I mean, I said on Twitter that these people, this group of developers, even though people come and go, but this company of developers, you know, 2 decades ago they were making a polygonal Crash Bandicoot, and look how far it's come now. Just the light that plays on the characters' faces, the it's raining in the trailer, the sort of depth of fields, the fire, the very minute details in the face of the woman when she's choking because she's being hung. She's got like veins popping out, her face is turning red. Like it's insane the level of detail. I mean, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy was their last game that they put out, and before that, Uncharted 4. And with pro support, their character models are absolutely insane. It's fantastic. So to see this in The Last of Us Part 2 as well, even it looks like they're going one step further as well. It's a newer game, newer engine, I imagine, or an updated version of the engine from since Uncharted 4. Yeah, this game is going to be incredible, especially for people who have Pro and who are lucky enough to have like 4K televisions to play it on. It's going to be something special. I guess it goes without saying, I can say that everyone here is interested in it.
Yeah,
definitely am. I mean,
it's looking interesting, but I don't think I'll play it. It's I don't know. The first one was I bought the first one on release day, and it was good, but I don't think I didn't like. A lot of people said like it was really a really good game. I think I love it, but I will have to see a little bit more about the gameplay and really what is different from the first game. But I enjoyed the trailer. This trailer was something that I didn't expect, and that took my curiosity. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. So yeah, that brings us to the end of all the game announcements from Sony's Paris Game Week conference. Overall thoughts, I'd say. Would people say, I'm not going to be doing the sort of thing that people do when E3 is on and people are like, well, Xbox definitely won this E3 or Nintendo. I'm not talking about that kind of reaction. Just as a conference of getting you excited to be a platform, an owner of that platform. would you say this is a positive look into the near future of PlayStation? Starting with you, Punish, what's your overall thoughts?
I think the conference went really well. I thought they showed some great game footage, and the one thing that I really enjoyed that I kind of pointed out on my Twitter was they showed amazing single player game footage. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about, multiplayer is the only way to go. Single player games are going to be dying off here soon. And we have these developers coming out here and saying, hey, no, it's not. We got these awesome games that we're developing for you right now. Single player games are still alive. And we're going to continue to give you this content. And with this conference, I think they really, really showed that. They really put that forward. Like, we're putting love, we're putting commitment into these games right here. Like you had said with Last of Us 2, that Naughty Dog went from creating Crash Bandicoot to coming to what they just showed currently. And that's because they love the story. They put their hearts and souls into the content, into the art, and into the music. And it is really a driving force behind the gaming community. And just from what they showed at the conference, that's what it tells me right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can't make the argument that single player video games are going away, because basically, I'd say 90% of the titles that we've talked about here are single player with maybe multiplayer added on. But look at the big single player games we've got here. I mean, Last of Us is probably going to have the multiplayer like the first game, but still, it is a single player primarily experience. You got Last of Us, Shadow of the Colossus, God of War, Detroit, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter, barring any kind of like co-op or whatnot. Massive games that are focused at the single player audience. So they're not going away anytime soon. Void, what was your overall feedback?
I would say I got surprised a little bit, because I'm not the type of person that gets super hyped about all those trailers and all those new release, because I'm a little bit too greedy and I like to go and sell and buy those cheaper game. But there's a lot of game that caught my eye. Like there's 5 or 6 of them that seems to be really interesting, that I'm looking forward to it. So I think it was really good. I'm not sure. I found like the all the game week, all the conference that they did was kind of meh, where they show a lot of YouTube video. It was like playing. They made a playlist for all those trailer, where I don't think you need a conference for those trailer, and I really more enjoy all the dev comment that they put after for the last hours. But I feel like it was kind of a little bit empty as a conference, even if they put a lot of nice game. Like just, I would like to see more people on stage talking about their game. To have like the person, for example, that did the Star Child, like to come there and say a little bit of something with his 1 minute video trailer that was empty a little bit. But it was good.
I guess with things like Paris Games Week and but basically anything that's outside of E3 and maybe PSX are always generally just quicker. I mean, even with Tokyo Game Show, I think it's generally just mainly trailers. There's never really any. I mean, Tokyo Game Show is more sort of where they announce hardware, and it's in Sony's sort of home. It's in Sony's home, so they don't really wheel anyone out from developers there. It's generally just like bang, 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 bang trailers. But then again, people always complain about when there's too many people talking on stages, because every year I hear, or every year when I mean like every conference there is, people always like the idea of just games, no talking, and then when there is loads of talking, because there is a balance. Sometimes there could be just too much, or like for example, I can't remember the exact E3, but do you remember a few E3s ago when they got in EA got Pele out on stage for about half an hour talking about FIFA, and everyone was basically just going out of their minds with boredom. Like that's the polar end of the scale that you want to avoid. And then
I guess to find a good middle.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I like the idea of them having the presenters on stage, but I don't know. Would you prefer them to do like what Nintendo does with their like Treehouse streams?
I didn't listen to Nintendo, so I don't really know, but I feel like just a little bit more like some could be only 5 minutes on games. Like if you're developing a game and you're putting it on a conference, like a game should deserve at least 5 minutes. Maybe half an hour for FIFA is definitely too much, but
okay.
yeah.
Claire, overall thoughts of this conference?
Well, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I always had the expectation that it's never going to be as big as like E3 or what the other big ones. These are small little filler ones that kind of keep the core PlayStation fans going, whereas E3 would be like even for big casual fans and stuff like that. So I don't think a lot of people would watch this and come away satisfied because it's like I said, it's mostly for people like us who would be very deep into like the gaming community and the gaming our specific gaming platform. For me though, personally, I was very surprised and taken away from it because it gives us a lot more footage of some games, and it did reveal one very very big game as well. So in the Sucker Punch game, and also more The Last of Us and all that God of War footage, Detroit, like a lot of single player stuff. Like so, it's really just kind of topping up and giving us the latest updates that PlayStation is still on course to be a very very good platform to play for games, for all types of different games. So like I said, it's just keeping consistency throughout this entire gen. Since the PlayStation 4 was first announced, they announced the same type of games, and every single conference that I watch, it's pretty much the exact same. A few big ones, lots of small ones, some in betweens, lots of indie support. Pretty much something for everyone, and it's just kind of if you have your taste satisfied. For me, though, because I play a lot of different games, a lot of different genres, there's definitely a lot for me. So it would have to be a pretty bad conference for me to walk away disappointed.
For me personally, I thought it was a decent conference. I was pretty hyped by a lot of the. Firstly, PSVR support. I said it earlier in this show. I'm glad they're showing support, continuing support for PSVR. A lot of games I'm interested in. I'd say about 80-90% of the games that they showed for PSVR, definitely very interested in. The only thing I can really say is they need to like launch God of War and Spider-Man soon, because that just seems to be every conference for the last 2 years has basically been God of War, Spider-Man, and up until recently, Horizon Zero Dawn, that's out now. So they did show the Frozen Wilds, some Frozen Wilds footage. I can't remember if it was during the show or on the pre-show or the post-show, but there was new footage of Horizon. But yeah, really need Spider-Man to launch, really need God of War to launch. But again, no rush. It's done when it's done. But I'd like to see some shows, and I just hope going forward that we're not going to see like just them trickling out more and more footage of The Last of Us 2 in every conference now. Just like give it a break for now. I mean, we had the first sort of announcement trailer. We've got this one. We might not need another one for a while, but overall, it was fine. It was entertaining enough, and to get me excited for the near future of PlayStation games. So that rounds up this special episode of the Trophy Trust. We covered Paris Games Week. I hope everyone's found it interesting about our opinions, our first reactions to the trailers and announcements. Thanks for everyone listening. Thanks everyone in the live audience on Discord for listening into this episode. Next week, we'll be going back into our usual segments that we usually do on the show. Thank you everyone who subscribes to us on YouTube. If you haven't already, please do. Thank you to everyone that downloads through iTunes. Please leave feedback, greatly appreciated. I've been the Dazil. You can find me on Twitter at the Dazil. Claire, where can people find you?
I mostly hang around on Twitter at Claire88Gaming.
Void, where can people find you?
At PVT Void on Twitter.
And Punish, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, SSG_Punish.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for listening, and keep on trophy hunting. Bye.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.